Hey all, DT Neil here, talking to you about writerly things, storytelling, genre, fiction, pop culture matters. At the moment, I'm going to talk about something which might be unpopular in some perspectives, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I actually like streaming services. I know people are complaining and saying, "Oh, streaming is destroying the movie industry." And they're complaining about that. But I actually don't mind. And it's weird because as an Xer, as somebody who grew up going to movies, right, and enjoying the movie experience, and I absolutely did. I love movies. Who doesn't like the big screen? The one thing that I can definitely say, though, is given the cost of going to movies these days, it's a real decision. Like you have to decide, gosh, is this movie going to be so worth my time that I'm willing to throw down a big pile of money to go see that movie? Because it tends to be pricey, and that I think is really what's killing the movie industry. Like the movies aren't good enough to justify the ticket price. You people are in that point. I know I am, where you think, is this actually worth going trekking out to go pay a big pile of money? And especially if it's more than just you. If it's just you, you can kind of moderate that. But God's help you if you're trying to like if it's more than just you. Okay, I'll just say that. Anyway, streaming services, you don't have to go anywhere, and yes, it's a smaller screen. The sound won't likely be as good unless you're some tycoon with a massive screen and a huge sound system. But and you have a wide variety of things to pick from. And yes, there is a lot of stuff that's junk, but there's also things that might be worthwhile and they might want to see. And you can do it so much. It's just easier. And I've found certainly from the pandemic onward, my movie watching habits have radically changed. There have been a few movies that I've even pointedly seen on the big screen because I thought this is something I have to see on the big screen. But most movies, I'll look and I'll go, I'll wait till it's on streaming and I'll just catch it then. And this has thrown the whole movie industry on its ear because they are in that situation where they want people to go to the theaters, they want people to pay that big money, they want a movie to have a big debut. But for most of us, it's a real decision whether or not it's going to be worth it. And I'm just gonna flat out say that I think a certain degree of risk aversion in the movie industry, retreads, remakes, unoriginal stories, poorly written stories, and again, that's the inherent bias as a writer. Like I want it to be well written. I like a good well written story. It's fun. A lot of those factors do drag on it to the extent that it's you just don't think it's necessarily worth it. I know I don't. So for as much as people slam streaming, I look at it as quite a useful resource because the amount that you might pay for a streaming service still doesn't compare to the cost of any kind of movie outing. If you had a regular movie habit, it's pricey. It's legit pricey, and sad to say, there are a lot of movies that get put out there that just aren't particularly good. I've gone to movies and I let after watching them and I think, boy, that was kind of a waste of time and money. So people can wring their hands all they want about streaming, but at least streaming offers a certain degree, I guess, of agency for a person. If you select through your options, you look and you say, oh yeah, I'll watch that one, or I'll bookmark that one and eventually get around to watching. It's on your terms, and you can pause it if you want or need to. You could stop it. You can walk away from it. I think those aspects of it are appealing. And again, as an Xer who grew up at a time when you go to drive-ins, you go to actual movie theaters, I don't object to the streaming services. I think that they are valid. So that's just my opinion, but I think it's relevant, and I don't think the movie industry in particular, has come to terms with its own obsolescence or its price structure I don't think they've come to terms with it, and I think there's still a huge reckoning in Hollywood on that.